Citation for the instauration of Ambassador Dr. Francis Kirimi Muthaura as the 6th Chancellor of Kenyatta University during the 55th graduation ceremony being held today, the 19th of July, 2024. His birth and family. Ambassador Dr. Francis Kirimi Muthaura was born on the 20th October 1946 in Mariana Village in Meru County. He was raised in a humble Christian background which instilled in him the values of diligence, hard work, integrity, and service to humanity, which would heavily impact on his future career path. Ambassador Muthaura is married to Rose Muthaura, and they have 3 children, that is 2 daughters and 1 son. Education. Ambassador Muthaura started his early education at Mariene and Kariene primary schools before proceeding to the Nkobo Intermediate School. Thereafter, he joined Nkobo Secondary School and then Nyeri High School. He joined University of Nairobi, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Political Science. He later pursued a postgraduate diploma in Diplomacy and International Relations in the same university. He has a certificate in leadership from Georgetown University in the USA. His career and work experience. Ambassador Dr. Muthaura started his career as a district officer for Mombasa Island from 1972 before joining the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and as Assistant Secretary in 1973. Due to his high intellect and broad national and international vision, he was promptly posted to the country's permanent mission of Kenya to the United Nations, based at the United Nations headquarters in New York, USA. First as a 3rd, and then second as a 2nd secretary in 1975. He represented Kenya in the 3rd and 2nd committees of the United Nations General Assembly and also in the United Nations Economic and Social Council. In 1978, Ambassador Dr. Muthaura was appointed the 1st secretary at the Kenya Embassy in Brussels, Belgium, and then in 1983, he was promoted to Senior Assistant Secretary, thereafter to Undersecretary and Head of Economic Division in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. From 1987 to 1988, he served as the 1st Chancellor and Deputy Head of Mission to the Kenya High Commission in London. From 1988 to 1993, he was the Kenya's ambassador to the European Union, Belgium, and Luxembourg. And then from 1993 to 1996, Ambassador Muthaura served as Kenya's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations in New York before being appointed the 1st Executive Secretary for East African Cooperation and Secretary General of the East African Community in 1996. From 2001 to 2003, he served as a permanent secretary in several ministries, namely Ministry of Transport and Communication, Ministry of Environment, Water and Mineral Resources, and finally, Ministry of Provincial Administration and Internal Security. From 2003 to 2012, he served as a permanent secretary, head of public service, and secretary to the cabinet. Ambassador Muthaura has been described as a premier administrator, a diplomat, a tough negotiator, a champion of regional integration, a reformer, a visionary leader, as well as a consummate civil servant. He can safely be referred to as the father of transformation of the public service in Kenya. As the permanent secretary, head of public service, and secretary to the cabinet, he oversaw a number of strategic reforms in government and the state-owned enterprises that earned the public service in Kenya global awards and recognition, including at the United Nations Public Service Award in 2007 for introducing and implementing the performance contracting management in the public sector. He was also instrumental in the conceptualization and the institutionalization of Vision 2030, its delivery board, and the prioritization of infrastructure development, education, and food security in and for national development. As a permanent secretary in the ministries, he initiated the creation of the anti-terrorist police unit, finalized water sector reform under the Water Act 2002, and also initiated review of the Mining Act and the process of privatization of the Kenya Railways and liberalization of the telecommunications sector. He immensely contributed in the formulation of the Constitution 2010, related laws, and establishment of new constitutional institutions, including facilitating the establishment of the Ministry of Youth and creation of the National Youth Development Fund. While at the Kenya Revenue Authority, Ambassador Muthaura led the institution in several structural and systemic reforms that enabled KRA to surpass its overall target. Ambassador Muthaura was the prime mover in the conceptualization and institutionalization of the National Economic and Social Council, which advised the President and the Cabinet on the National Development Agenda. During his tenure at Lapsset Corridor Authority, he oversaw the launch of the construction of the Lamu Port Project, which has started operations, facilitating trade, promoting regional economic integration and interconnectivity in the East African sub-region and the Great Lakes region. He led in the conceptualization and the institutionalization of East African Community, the East African Cooperation Development Strategy, and thereafter, the formulation of the Treaty for the Establishment of the Eastern African Community, which became the most successful regional bloc in Africa. During his various ambassadorial postings, Ambassador Muthaura significantly promoted Kenya's visibility and participation in global issues. He promoted bilateral, regional, international economic cooperation in favor of Kenya. He negotiated Kenya's election as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council in 1995 for a 2-year term. During his time in the civil service and thereafter, Ambassador Muthaura has served in various committees, teams, which have enhanced Kenya's international image and transformed the country's economic and infrastructure development. Among these are Chair of the United Charter Review Committee in 1994 and Chairman of the 4th Committee of the UN General Assembly in 1995. Kenya's representative in the negotiation of ACPE, Rome, and Cotonou Conventions, Chairman of ACP and Co-Chairman of ACPE Committee of Ambassadors, member of the team that formulated UN resolutions declaring 1978 and 1988 the Transport and Communication Decade for Africa. Number 5, Kenya's representative in the 3rd and 2nd Committees of the United Nations General Assembly and also in the United Nations Economic and Social Council. 6, he led in the conceptualization and establishment of Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that is IGAD. 7, he served as Kenya's representative in the 3rd and 2nd Committees of the United Nations General Assembly and also in the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Chair of the Committee of Permanent Secretaries and numerous interministerial meetings. He also chaired the National Security Advisory Council. He was also a member of the National Economic and Social Council, a member of State Corporations Advisory Board, member of the team that conceptualized the Lamu Port, South Sudan, Ethiopia Transport Corridor in short lapset to open up the northern Kenya for economic development. He also was the head of the team that greatly expanded the power production and national rural grid network, focusing on geothermal, wind, and solar energy. He headed the team that modernized highways and roads in major urban areas, starting with the Thika Superhighway and Nairobi bypasses to make the countries more attractive to investors for employment creation. 15, he served as a member of the team that spearheaded and facilitated the development of the undersea communication cables that brought about digital communication revolution in this country. He also served as a member that greatly expanded secondary school education enrollment by developing a day secondary school policy, and at the same time facilitated expansion of the number of public universities from 6 to 22 distributed in all regions of this country. He also served as a member of the team that formulated the TVET policy that created technical institutions in all constituencies to empower youth for employment. He was the chairman of LAPSET Development Authority Board, the chairman of the Kenya Revenue Authority Board, the chairman of British American Investment Company Limited, and also the chairman of Britam Holdings, a public insurance and diversified financial services company operating in the country and in the region. Honors and awards. During his career as a diplomat and a civil servant, Ambassador Muthaura received many awards and honors for his exemplary service to humanity. Some of these are African Association of Public Administration and Management Gold Award, Elder of the Golden Heart, EGH, second highest national order, which was awarded by the late His Excellency President Kibaki, and he also was awarded Moran of the Burning Spear, MBS, by the late His Excellency President Moi. He also received the Constitution of Kenya Medal by the late His Excellency President Kibaki. He was awarded Doctor of Humane Letters, HC, by this great university, Kenyatta University. 7, he also was awarded Doctor of Diplomacy and Public Administration by the Kenya Methodist University. He also received a honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. This was awarded by Mary University of Science and Technology. He has served as a patron, Meru Professional Association, and also is a patron of Supreme Council of Njuri Njeke of Meru people. Ambassador Muthaura is also involved in philanthropic work. In 2014, he established the Ambassador Francis K. Muthaura Foundation, which operates as a charitable trust for the purpose of promoting the advancement of education by providing scholarships and grants to needy Kenyan citizens engaged in postgraduate studies in any university in the Republic of Kenya. Dr. Muthaura is also an author. He has authored a book in 23 November, and it was the book titled A Moving Horizon, that is his memoirs. His appointment as the Chancellor of Kenyatta University. Due to his immense knowledge, experience, and visionary leadership, Ambassador Muthaura was appointed the Chancellor of Kenyatta University by His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, in February 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore with great honor and privilege and humility to present this great man of Kenya, of Africa, of the world, Ambassador Dr. Francis Kirimi Muthaura, for instauration as the Chancellor, as the 6th Chancellor of Kenyatta University.
An applause as the 6th Chancellor of Kenyatta University is announced.
Tupige makofi wakati Chancellor wa 6 wa chuo kikuu cha Kenyatta anaanza kutawazwa.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, it is now my humble duty to invite you for lobbying.
The Vice Chancellor now walks the Chancellor in position in readiness for robing.
Mkuu wa chuo kikuu cha Kenyatta anamuongoza Chancellor mbele ya jukwaa tayari kwa kuvalishwa joho la uchancellor.
I also wish to invite the representative of the Principal Secretary, Dr. Rosibera, and the Chairman of Council to come and join in the robing ceremony. I also wish to request all members of academic staff and guests in academic attire to please rise and remain standing until the robing ceremony is over.
Now witness the 3-step momentous occasion of robing the Chancellor. See the dark blue silk gown with the sleeves lined with satin of lighter blue and purple collar, with KU coat of arms on each side, with 3 velvet sleeve bars of a lighter blue edged gold. The PS representative closely witnessing as the Chancellor is draped in this richly colorful gown. Amidst the hues of the colors, see the design with the front-facing Kenyatta belt pattern with red and shades of blue and outer of gold. Oh, the fabric shimmers as it symbolizes the Chancellor's wisdom and achievements through a journey of dedication. And the meticulous zipping up of the gown by the DVC academic echoes the precision and care with which our Chancellor will guide this esteemed institution, ensuring each detail aligns with excellence. In the 2nd step, the PS witnesses the Chairman of Council and the Vice Chancellor hooding the Chancellor with a gold hood, the cap lined red, cowl edged blue, inside red with purple chevron.
Sasa Chancellor amevalishwa gauni maridadi kabisa. Ukitazama rangi zake zinawakilisha mambo tofauti, zinawakilisha mambo aliyopitia ulimwenguni na pia zinawakilisha ukanda.
In the 3rd step, the PS representative joins to cap the Chancellor with a black velvet round bonnet with purple rim and a gold tassel. This not only marks scholarly achievement, but also the culmination of the years of hard work and dedication that deserved Ambassador Muthaura as the Chancellor of Kenyatta University.